The pre-colonial American wilderness was a tapestry of ancient cultures, a vast expanse where diverse tribes coexisted, each with their own unique traditions and ways of life. This land was not just a home, but a living, breathing entity that provided sustenance and spiritual guidance to its inhabitants. Tribes thrived amidst the towering forests and fertile plains, cultivating the land with sophisticated agricultural techniques and living in harmony with nature. Their villages were bustling centers of culture, trade, and community where stories were passed down through generations. But a storm was brewing on the horizon, one that would bring unprecedented change and challenge the very fabric of their existence. The arrival of new forces would disrupt the delicate balance that had been maintained for centuries. European powers, hungry for land and riches, encroached upon this delicate balance. Their arrival marked the beginning of a new era, one characterized by conflict, negotiation, and the relentless pursuit of expansion. Amidst the growing tension, a different kind of revolution was igniting. Native American councils convened, strategizing ways to navigate the complex web of alliances and enmities that the newcomers brought with them. Native American leaders recognized the shifting tides of power. They were astute observers, understanding that the arrival of Europeans could be both a threat and an opportunity. They sought to leverage the ambitions of these newcomers to their own advantage. They saw an opportunity to leverage the ambitions of these newcomers. Through diplomacy and strategic alliances, they aimed to preserve their sovereignty and protect their way of life from the encroaching forces. Their goal was clear: to preserve their own sovereignty and way of life. They were determined to maintain their cultural heritage and the autonomy of their people amidst the growing pressures. These were not passive bystanders in a clash of empires. They were active participants, skilled in both diplomacy and warfare, ready to defend their lands and their people. Indigenous nations were adept at diplomacy and warfare, honed over centuries of intertribal conflict and alliance. Their leaders were seasoned negotiators, and their warriors were formidable opponents. They understood the lay of the land, the rhythms of the seasons, and the art of survival in this untamed expanse. Their knowledge of the natural world was unparalleled, and it was this deep connection that gave them an edge in both peace and conflict. Their warriors were renowned for their stealth, their tracking skills, and their deep connection to the natural world. They moved through the forests with an almost supernatural ease, blending into the landscape as they hunted and defended their territories. As the drums of war echoed across the colonies, these forgotten revolutionaries would play a pivotal role in shaping the destiny of a nation. Their contributions, often overlooked, were crucial in the unfolding drama of America's fight for independence. Among these leaders stood Dragging Canoe, a Cherokee war chief of formidable intellect and unwavering resolve. A master strategist, he saw through the veneer of colonial promises and understood the true intentions behind the settlers' words. He recognized that the arrival of Europeans on American shores was not just a moment of contact, but a harbinger of profound and lasting change. The settlers brought with them not only new technologies and goods, but also diseases and a hunger for land that threatened the very existence of his people. Dragging Canoe knew that the arrival of Europeans spelled danger for his people. He saw the encroachment on their lands and the disruption of their way of life. The settlers' expansionist ambitions were clear, and Dragging Canoe was determined to resist. Dragging Canoe understood that the only path to survival lay in calculated alliances and strategic resistance. He convened war councils and planned meticulously, knowing that every move could mean the difference between survival and annihilation. He would become a pivotal figure in the American Revolution, a symbol of indigenous defiance in the face of overwhelming odds. His leadership inspired many, and his tactics were studied and admired by both allies and enemies. His vision extended beyond simple opposition to the British. Dragging Canoe aimed to exploit the conflict to secure Cherokee land rights and autonomy. He saw the revolution as an opportunity to strengthen his people's position and ensure their future. Dragging Canoe aimed to exploit the conflict to secure Cherokee land rights and autonomy. He knew that the shifting allegiances and the chaos of war could be used to his advantage. He knew that siding with one European power against another was a dangerous game. The stakes were high and the risks were immense, yet Dragging Canoe was prepared to navigate this treacherous landscape with skill and determination. Yet, he was prepared to play, leveraging the ambitions of the revolutionaries to advance the cause of his people. He forged alliances, negotiated treaties, and always kept the welfare of the Cherokee at the forefront of his actions. His story, and the stories of countless other indigenous leaders like him, lay bare the complex web of alliances and betrayals that defined this tumultuous period. Their efforts, struggles, and sacrifices are a testament to their resilience and their unwavering commitment to their people's survival and sovereignty. Across the vast frontier, a network of indigenous strategists emerged. They observed the movements of colonial troops, gathered intelligence, and forged alliances based on shared interests. These weren't merely acts of opportunism, they were calculated maneuvers in a desperate struggle for survival. From the forests of the northeast to the swamps of the south, native nations exchanged information. Runners carried messages across vast distances, their knowledge of the terrain proving invaluable. They spoke of troop movements, supply lines, and the shifting alliances among the colonists. This intelligence network, invisible to the untrained eye, proved crucial to the Continental Army's success. The Continental Army, often ill-equipped and unfamiliar with the terrain, relied heavily on these whispers from the wilderness. These whispers, born from generations of accumulated wisdom and observation, would often spell the difference between victory and defeat on the battlefield. Native American scouts played a critical role in the Revolution. Their deep understanding of the land and their unparalleled tracking skills made them indispensable to the Continental Army. They were the eyes and ears of the Continental Army, guiding troops through treacherous terrain and providing crucial intelligence on enemy positions. Without their guidance, many missions would have ended in disaster. Men like Mohawk leader Joseph Brant used their knowledge of the land to outmaneuver British forces. Brant, a formidable strategist, leveraged his expertise to lead successful raids and ambushes, disrupting enemy plans. They knew the hidden paths, the watering holes, the places where the enemy would be most vulnerable. This intimate knowledge of the terrain allowed them to set traps and ambushes, catching the British off guard. Their skills in tracking and camouflage made them invisible ghosts, haunting the footsteps of the British. They could move silently through the forest, unseen and unheard, striking fear into the hearts of their enemies. Their contributions often went unrecorded, their names lost to history. Despite their crucial role, many Native American scouts remain anonymous, their bravery and sacrifices forgotten by the annals of time, but their impact on the outcome of battles was undeniable. Their intelligence and combat skills turned the tide in many engagements, proving that their role was far from insignificant. At the Battle of Saratoga, for instance, Oneida scouts played a pivotal role in the American victory, a turning point in the war. Their timely intelligence and strategic guidance were instrumental in securing this crucial win. They harassed British supply lines, provided crucial intelligence on troop movements, and even participated in the fighting, their tomahawks and muskets proving deadly against the redcoats. Their relentless efforts weakened the British resolve and disrupted their operations. Yet their sacrifices would be overshadowed by the triumph of the colonists, their stories relegated to the margins of history. The legacy of these brave scouts deserves recognition, as their contributions were vital to the birth of a new nation.